Please turn to page 171. And Robin leads us in a candle.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who so may by our lives give light to all who be us. As their brightness reminds us of the generation filled with light, so may we in our own day among those light.
Hebrew on page 1. Everyone.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle light Shabbat.
Being this is the first Shabbat of the month, please turn to page 130. Now that we've come to sing for God, or as we say in the vernacular, a warm-up, please turn to page 138. Belechado, the second song of love service. Now please turn to page 142. Shalom Aleichem is our song to invite the angels to join us in worship. We know that we are not alone. We know that there are celestials who join us. So this is our song to say, please come to worship service. And, well, I'll tell you a story about this morning. This morning, I needed an oil change on my car. I called my mechanic, said, yeah, come, and I came. And he said, all right, a few minutes. So it's always a good idea. Be nice to your mechanic. He said, would you like something? I said, yeah, I'd like a cup of Colombian coffee. I said, well, I don't know if I can get to Colombia and get back in time to get my coffee. So anyway, I walked, I said, so Colombian coffee. I'm going to 7-Eleven. Well, sure enough, at 7-Eleven, they had Colombian coffee. So I got a cup of coffee for him. I got a cup for me. You know, carry all in a nice bag I'm walking back, and I get about halfway down the van, walks up, and I thought he was wearing red makeup, like a bunny trap. Then I looked closely. No, mugged. He'd been, and he was bleeding. And at first, I didn't know what to do. I said, dummy, you have a phone. Call the paramedics. So I called the paramedics. And by calling the paramedics, they came and they took him in. The only reason I bring him is if there hadn't been a problem getting me a carry-all to carry my thing, if they, pardon me, they'd let me use the bathroom, all these things, I would have never seen him. He came out of this courtyard of the building, and I would have never had the opportunity to mitzvah. So I think, once again, sometimes the angels do things, you're annoyed because it messes you up. Then I had the opportunity to make sure that the paramedics came, this man, and these things, a few hours later, ask me. And the reason I bring it up is, we talk about angels, we always do it positively. Oh, this angel helped me, this angel. Sometimes the reason are acting like that is through an angel sets up a situation, and then you have the opportunity to bring it up. So I just want to, I guess it's on my mind. I've been thinking about him all day. Young fellow, named Alan. That's the one to get out of. Everybody, pray for Alan. See what they never know when it's going to be your time to act like an angel. It's going to put you in the right place at the right time. With that in mind, let's turn to page 142 and Shalom Aleichem. Well, tonight I'm going to do the announcements. First, I'm going to call upon Jennifer, talk about our comedy night while I go get the flyers to study. So Jennifer's going to talk about comedy night, and I'll go get the flyers for her. Please give them out to everybody. Find everybody. Hey, let me be very serious. We keep relying on our temple membership. We'll never, ever, ever get out of the financial. But if we get a whole bunch of people come that night, it's the beginning of a start. Also put our name out there as being a place for. So thank you.
Hello, my name is Jennifer Larkin, in case you haven't met me before. I'm new to the temple. I started coming back in January, and I've been doing improv for upwards of 20 years, and I know a bunch of wonderful people within improv and sketch community. And I booked a bunch of fabulous groups to come and perform on August 27th between 4 and 6 p.m. The show is going to be hosted by the TV show on which I am currently appearing. It's called Barbie Rehab, the late night adult parody. Think of it as an adult version of Barbie. And there will be some wonderful acts that will be there. One group, Landry and Summers, they've been performing for decades. They are Second City alumni from Chicago. Nerdvana, which is Compton, James. I've knew them since I started improvising here in Los Angeles. Same thing, Tacklebox, that's Jim, Josh Tara. BJ is an Air Force veteran and works for Bruce Project. Then also have Raj Browns and Art Rifle. They will be doing storytelling, a storytelling set. And then, myself and some of the cast and crew members of Barbie will also be performing sketches as well. But we finally commenced with an improv jam in which we'll be doing short form comedy in the style of Whose Line Is It Anyway? People from the audience will be invited to come up and do some improv, see some professional improv. I think it will be a wonderful, fun afternoon, serving refreshments, and I think there'll be some other things going on as well. So I invite everyone who's here today to come, of course, anyone who may be watching via Zoom, anyone in the community is invited, and I think it's a wonderful time.
Thank you. You want to give them out? No.
Hey.
All right. Other things coming up. The week before that, on the 20th, is the first of Temple open houses. The second one will be the first day of school, which is the Sunday after Labor Day. Pretty much, more importantly, the board meeting is this Tuesday night, where I'm sure there will be lots to discuss about for that. And about the same time, simultaneously, first practice of our choir. So that will be happening at 7 o'clock as well. Next Friday night, personal news, my Joshua is going to be coming on Monday after staying for a week for his year. So fortunately or fortunately, I won't be seeing you next Friday night. I've notified the temple president I'm being back about next Friday night. Of course, the services will be in charge. It's only Josh is in town for 6 days that we spend as much time with him. So I think that kind of so okay. Rosh Hashanah begins Friday night the 15th at sundown. So get your way. It's a little bit frightening. I didn't think it was that close. I have been working with Rosh. I'll be in. My friend should have an edge over at the time. This year is 5784 Tafshin A Dalit, which if you flip the last two letters, it becomes Taf, which is page. So I'm going to be in my drashes talking about pages of your life. That's I picked 5 pages, one for each drash. See what as pages of life. So again, the 8 o'clock on Friday, September starts with the show. Start making plans already. I hope to see all of you there. And I really do see if we can fire members here. And I think that's all unless somebody else has something else to add. No, I think, okay. In that case, would you all please rise? Turn to page 146. With a formal call to prayer. Come, let us praise the one who is to be praised. Let's praise the one who is to be praised. This world is yet to discover. Or everybody. 6. Please turn to page 102. 3. David, come.
I will. That's it. Thank you.
All right, everybody, the watcher of our faith, the monotheistic. I love this. Every time I say monotheistic creed, all I think is monochrome. And I think I'm doing it for the Shema, page 152. Go ahead. Please turn to page 155. Let us read together. Love your God with every heart, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work. When you are tired or rested, let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your not leave them in the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all of my mitzvot, so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai your God. Please turn to page 1. Now, we need to discuss something before we do come on. I am so proud of Paul, because Paul tells everybody it's not the Red Sea, it's the Reed Sea. So I just wanted to go on record telling all of you that when people call it the Red Sea, correct them, tell them it's a bad translation. It leads you to all sorts of bad translations of the Bible. Okay? I just wanted to say that, and I want to compliment talking about it. Now, if you really want to impress them, you say, "Do you know the Reed Sea was a drowned estuary?" They're going to want to know what guy drowned. Estuary, what did he drown? Drowned estuary is a river that floods into the ocean. The ocean, a tide goes out, the river goes down. I know because I live next to the Raritan, New Jersey, it flows into the Atlantic Ocean. Trust me, you don't ever want to live over the Raritan River, which flows into the ocean in New Jersey. Because if you think Secaucus is bad, wait till you get to the Raritan. Thank God Raritan came back up. But seriously, drowned estuary, its level is dependent upon the tides of the ocean. And so a professor of mine said that was how Napoleon escaped Fritz. So, because then he was in the Sinai, Moses knew too. That's how exactly where to lead them, get across it in time. By the time you showed up, you know what happened to that. Brings us to we, especially as it's getting close to holidays, We are commanded by God not to take joy in the demise of our enemies. As much as we may want to, as much as it should be necessary. 250 to 400 years of slavery, by the historian, you have every right to stand on the shores of the sea and say, nah, 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 you're dead, we're alive, ha, ha, ha. We're not allowed to. That's a no. So just keep that in mind. Getting closer to holidays. Things. Let's just say dumb things. Get mad at them. Remember, all you can do is say, thank you, God. I'm happy for who I am, my status in life. Doesn't mean you should try harder, but that, please, I'll let you in a secret. People really know. I quote Siddur forever. All amal shini. All people have that quote. You have time for one more quick story? We wanted to build an apartment behind my house. But we ended up partially. But we went to the Van Nuys, to the zoning commission, and the people, literally busting people from all over LA, make it appear to the zoning commission that they were local residents who were in favor of the apartment. So they got me mad. I looked at them and said, Kol Amal Shanim Lo Yati. From that time on, my group and our adversaries referred to me as the cursing rabbi. It wasn't. This will all evil doers have no hope. I can't do it. Well, I'll talk about it in Drosh. Say so. Back to no nasty. You know, when you're for your enemies, all you can do is say, "Thank you, God, for making it this way." And everybody, I'm taking one. Please turn to page 162. Shamru b'nei Yisrael et Shabbat. We all need guard, not just Shabbat. I'm so glad you're all here. But start with Shabbat and then start guarding the restful time, rest of the week. People are overworked. They're overworked and people aren't resting. This is still with us. So please, everybody, while we chant the Shamru, thinking about other ways you can find rest. It doesn't mean staying in bed and watching The Young and the Restless. It really doesn't. It means it's finding a place that gives you calmness, that gives your mind a rest. You know, reading a novel. It's where your mind is suddenly someplace else. That's restful. Seeing an old movie. Mina can't get over it. How come you know every single sitcom station on Spectrum? I get a kick out of them. I like Leave It. I like I Dream of You. Well, sounds right. But I like all those things. And I like the Westerns. Why? Because the good guys always win. And I need an hour of guys. Not so Gunsmoke, stuff like that. Also, those of us who grew up in the 60s, Gunsmoke is an institution. You know, one question I always asked about Gunsmoke, why didn't you marry Kitty? Gee whiz. Marry her already. But other than that, and all right, I'm sorry, I guess I'm gonna talk. Do you remember everybody, does anybody here not know what Gunsmoke is about? Everybody knows about Gunsmoke, right? Okay, Gunsmoke is a fictitious story of Dodge City, Kansas. And it's James Arness. Oh, I see, this would be good for Eileen. I wish Eileen was here. I would ask Eileen, what horror movie does James Arness star in? The Thing. The original Thing in 1955. Thing when he walks through the door and they zap him with the flamethrower. That's him. Yeah. He didn't even get a chance to take his gun out. Oh my God. So anyway, so 10:30. It used to be on from 10 to 30. My sister and I would come out. We would have our pretend guns. Or my Yiddish bubby from Lithuania used to be in hysterics when she sees us. We all draw time for him. Boom, boom, you know. So I just but it's an institution. So those things. So once again, as we chant Vishamru, think of things that give you rest, including channel surfing to find a comedy or an old western. In Vishamru. No, do it. I want to get ready to forget it. I want to get ready for a high holiday. And thus Vatikim, thus old timers, which is know it. So we'll sing it with you. Okay, ready? Choir members?
They haven't done this for quite a while because we haven't had Shabbat on Rosh Hashanah.
Well, I'm sure they will. I have faith in you.
Right. I know that's not for. When your week is over and you need a day of rest to look back, see all that you have done. Take your cue from God and remember you are blessed. Shabbat's a gift He gave to every. Bayom Hashvi Shabbat Bayim Bash B'Shem Yisrael and Hashabbat Ba'aso Hashabbat Ba'aso B'Shem B'Shem.
Please rise. Along with this lack of sleep, illness is coming back to us. And we know of people in general could use a prayer of healing. Body, healing of mind and soul. So I raise my hand above you. I ask that you say the name aloud. That way our prayers have that much more power. That way we get to share in the greatest of all mitzvot. That way we get to heal each other. Please. Ready? Repeat with me the prayer first uttered by Moses for Sister Miriam. El Na B'Fanalah. El na Rafanala. El na Rafanala. Words, please God, healer, speaks to Shtina, the center of God, which takes place. We ask for all those mentioned and those that maybe we just didn't think to mention. Body, soul, healing of mind, a reproach, complete healing. Let us all say Amen. Continue prayers of healing. Turn to page 371 and see the Mishaberach is an ancient formula brought up to date by Debbie Friedman. Begin a third of the way down the page.
Bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage. Make our lives a blessing. And let us say, Amen. Evil for all the humble those in need of healing. Restore all God, all spirit. Amen.
Each of us is unique. Each of us is special. Let us take a moment and call upon that for our own making. Let us pray silently. Please turn to page 180. The world seems to be getting crazier and crazier. Our prayers for peace get deeper and deeper. Pray for ourselves that we be of pure heart, pure mind, because we need this quest for peace. Also, after that, we will close the derivation of the Corner's Kaddish, the phrase the alcohol. That is what Judaism ordains of us. It's not enough for us to do it for ourselves. It must be all of the enlightened nations bring that concept to them. First, to the way down the page. Ilarat son, imri figion libi, lefanecha adnai tzur b'goli. And the words of my mouth and meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, Adonai, my rock, my redeemer. Say amen. Once again, Usay shalom b'mromav, v'yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, yimru, amen. You're the one who makes peace in the high heavens. Make peace for us, for all Israel, for all who inhabit the earth. Let us all say amen. Amen. You may be seated. The parsha for this week is called Akev. Therefore. And it begins, though, that man does not live on bread alone, but by the utterance of God's mouth does man live. So first, let me go a little bit further. If we believe, as we do, that we are created in the image of God, then we don't just live person by bread alone, but we live by the utterance of each other's mouth. And I thought about that very quickly. Words reveal the soul's thoughts. And that is why you've heard of it, the expression, a Freudian slip. Freudian slip means it's what you really wanted to say, but you were afraid to say it, but you said it anyway, and now you're in lots of trouble. What you may not know is Freud and his co-workers, Adler and Jung, and I forget the other two, was called in Vienna Jew science. And I think that in many ways Freud took his ideas from Torah, and that's strange. Many of you may not know it, but the Beagle ship of Darwin, there was a Bible next to his bed. I don't see the problem between evolution and the week of creation. That's not for tonight. So the second thing it goes on, it talks about gestures, the same Torah portion. So we have thoughts and words, the mouth has power, and then of course, obviously gestures have power too. God in this long speech reminds the people about Moses and how he lost his temper at the Ten Commandments. Now, what most people forget is after Moses threw the Ten Commandments and the picture screen came up with the credits for the rest of the book. Actually, no, that last scene is Moses dying. So I'm making a joke. But seriously, Torah says very clearly, Moses yelled at the people, screamed at the people. God yelled at Moses. God yelled at Moses like a good parent, very quietly. Go carve yourself tablets. Come back up the mountain. And respect to those who thought it was a joke, but it's not. Moses came back down from the mountain 15 minutes when it was slow to anger. So God was teaching you that gestures also have power. Smashing of the, in other words, Moses didn't need to smash the tablets. What Moses needed to do was to tell the people, or at least find out what went on. Because he lost his temper, God punished not our people, punished Moses. See, yes, agreed. In the movie, Moses throws the tablets into this explosion, and there's an earthquake, and everybody gets swallowed up. Bad historiography. That's Torah, which happens several years later. Ten Commandments, Moses took. So I just want to explain to you that first, the power of words. Second, the power of gestures. So now, summation, what does God want? And as we get away from Tisha B'Av, the day of the destruction of the temple, and we're trying to be on a holier place, getting close to godliness for holidays. Then at the end of this Torah portion, it says, and now Israel, what does the Lord your God ask of you? It uses the word fear, only to be in fear. That's a translation. I don't like the word fear, and I think it's a bad translation. It uses the root Yud Resh Aleph for fear, except root Resh Aleph Hey is C. So there's a thing in Hebrew grammar, if two of the root letters are the same, there's a connection between the verbs. So the way I saw it, I very seldom use fear unless it's poked. That's the actual word for fear. I use the word. Now let's look at it now. And now, O Israel, what does the Lord your God ask of you? Only to be in awe of the Lord your God. And that's important. And then it continues, the same paragraph. To walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to do worship, which once again is an interesting translation. It's the same word as work. To do work for the Lord your God with all your heart and soul. So what do I think? Summation, this wonderful Torah portion, something we need to do every day. We need to be in awe of the world around you. If we think of God as the ultimate creator, the Bible begins with God creating. It's not God the liberator or God the freedom maker. It's God the creator. Then look at all the things. How many times do we take for granted what's outside our window? Whether hear, see, smell. Well, maybe if bugs have been around, smelling may not be a good analogy, but you catch my idea. How many times do we see the things and just don't notice them? So be in awe of it. Be in awe of the things around you. Be in awe of the people around you. Be in awe. Look around the room, guys, seriously. We're all manifestations of God's creation, and how different we are, yet how intelligent, how wonderful. So that's the first part. Now walk with godliness. What does it mean to walk with godliness? Well, I got news for you. I don't think it means the Bible thumpers to tell you, you sinned, I can tell. You sinned. No. Godliness means kindness, caring. If you see somebody, I'll give you another example. There is a person who sits at the Pass Avenue exit of the Ventura Freeway. It's the 134. They call it the Ventura? So, 134. And I offered him bread. He said, no, I want money. And he yelled at me. So it hurt my feelings. I drove away. And yesterday I was driving home. There was a man on something highway where the towers are. Thank you, Whitnall Highway. And I passed him. I entered the car. Still mad at the guy who yelled at me. I got as far as Oxnard, turned around and went back. And I gave him the bread. You know what he said? Thank you so much for bringing me bread. And I said, that's walking with godliness. You see a need, you take care of it. You see someone who needs help, you take care of it. And if you physically can't, that's why God created telephones. Think about it. Who created a telephone? Alexander Graham Bell, right? Had a beard. You know why he created? Anybody know why Alexander Graham Bell created a telephone? Huh? Yeah. Because he wanted her to hear. How much more godly can you be like that? You go make this magnificent device because it's a special needs person. The third part. You do mitzvah. Now, remember it said God, they use the translation avodah, work. Mitzvot, doing mitzvot are not easy. Not the important ones. It takes work. And sometimes they're a royal pain. And I believe the greater the mitzvot, the more complicated, complex, and difficult they can be. But you know what? Then you have the best satisfaction. Because you did this. Helped this. Then lastly, your physical actions, because it's acting physically and spiritually. Your actions, including your words, then further your thoughts, your ideas. You know people that are nice to you, know that deep down inside when you leave, they're going to say such nasty things. Don't be that kind of person. Be the kind of person who thinks the positive of somebody, gives them the benefit of it. When you help them, they're not, I don't often tell you, but I will. One of the greatest compliments I was given by my nieces. They looked at their fathers, some family meeting today. Not Uncle Mark. Uncle Mark always tells the truth. That was the nicest. That's on the level of the Baal Shem Tov, the master of the good name to be told. Yeah, ask him because he's going to tell you the truth. We won't leave it to play the vagueness of the line. But I want to say this. So those are the things you need to do. If you maintain awe at the world around you, and you walk with godliness, and you treat people with love and caring, your life will be better, let alone their life. You will be better. That is the goal we're all aiming for that idea of awe, of worship, if you will, certainly full of love. Shabbat shalom. Shalom. You all be. Please rise. Please turn to page 586. Oh, no. Oh, thank you. Elena, page 586, the second paragraph. Shachavim, Lifnei Melech, Malchei Hamlatim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Continue the Aleinu on page 588. Shamayim, Yosef Haaretz, Moshe Bikaro, Bashamayim, Ma'am, Shkinatu Zot, Bekam Ebero, Uelohim, Eino, Emet Malkeinu, Ebezilaton, Hagatu Betoraton, Yedata Hayom, Bahashivotam, Elevav, Hashemayim, Please turn to page 591. We'll complete that later. Call to mind in the yard-side memory, Amelia Asherman, Moshe Jersey, Ned Abrams, Gail Arnold. Those who've been translated to eternity, recent days and weeks and months, Gilda Siegel, Donald Goldstein, Jack Cohn, Vivian Gersh, Paula Levin, Debbie Craven, Harriet Lazarus, Shana Russell Bat Chaim, Lee Strom, Jay Davis, William Tagel, Yvonne Belzer, Ellen Woodrum, Lila Tepper, Sidonia Lax, Anne-Marie Chido, Edson Arante Nashamiento, Aaron Ben Simenko, Lisa Marie Bretter, Baruch Yosef Yecheskel, Ben Sarah Sarah Mishka, Benjamin Rial Ben Bracha, Leah Rachel Bat G. Adelberg, Jack Black, Wyatt James Martin, Saja Bat Abraham Lecook, Hector Alvarez, Frank Burns, Tom Sizemore, Barry Kaufman, Chaim Topol, Sandra Cherno, Evelyn Deckers, Hallie Scruggs, William Kinney, Erica Lewis' father, Maria Gabriela Haley, Charlotte Baraharo, Sally Roberts, Ellen Jane Friends, Michael Oppenheim, Evelyn Cantor, Pharrell Jackson, Sherman Kozik, Ruvain Ben Eli, Peter Felcher, Bilal Sheikh, Vera Korchmaz, Howard Rowe, Herb Uriz, Sheldon Harnack, Alan Arkin, Tony Bennett, Marine Greenspan, Masha Bad Chaim. If you're here during a period of intense mourning, the anniversary of a death loved one, please come forward to the open heart. Kaddish prayer is found on page 598. Board beautifully has asked that all of us recite the Kaddish together. Therefore, even though we are not in an active state of mourning, we are doing it so that no person will be forgotten. Because on every single day, we don't have enough people to say Kaddish. So please join us, page 598. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah, v'yalmad yivrach yerutei v'yamrit malchutei, v'chayechol v'yamecho, chayei hakol beit Yisrael, v'agola v'zman bariv yimchu amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah, barak v'olam v'lei, yitbarak v'yishtabak v'yitar v'yitraman v'yiseh, yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei Shah. Leila Mikol Birchata B'Shirata Tush B'Chata Tamiran V'Yalma Amen. Yehei Shlomo Rabba Min Shamaya B'Chayim Aleinu V'Ya'akol Yisrael Amen. Osei Shalom V'Ya'asei Shalom Aleinu V'Ya'akol Yisrael. You may be seated. Well, before we go to Kiddush, I'll do that. Before we go to Kiddush, once again, We believe so much in world peace. Please join us before we go to Kiddush with a session.
And this is the one that's TFC.
Shalom. Come everybody, let's make Kiddush, come on.
Okay.